Hi, welcome to Adventuring for Knowledge. This is Adventure Call number 1.
Guess what? This is Adventure Call number 2.
And what comes after 2, Manny?
Is it 3?
Yep, you got it. It's Adventure Call number 3.
Last call. Welcome to our podcast.
It's adventure time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we're here.
We're live.
We're live.
So who do we have here today, Mr.
We have
Manny?
Mr. Tavish Gudgeon.
Hey guys,
Mr. Tavish Gudgeon.
Yeah, long-lasting friend.
Our good friend, Mr. Tavish
Yeah.
Gudgeon.
that's me.
We went to high school with Tavish.
Yep,
Yeah.
And now
Elementary school too, or no, middle
Really?
school.
middle school.
You guys went to middle school together?
Yeah, we went to Monterey for a year.
Represent, dude.
Did you go there from kindergarten?
I was there from grade 4.
Grade 4. So you were there for the transition from elementary to middle,
Yeah,
and I came from Sundance to Monterey for 1 year.
yeah.
And then we went to
With our long hair.
with
the shaggy hair.
Long hippie hair.
Yeah,
hippie hair.
Everyone had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have it too.
Everybody
Yeah.
had that.
Mine was real creepy Mexican hair.
Yeah.
No, Tavish, you had hair down to your
Yeah,
shoulders.
it was the BC like
Yeah.
hippie child
Yeah.
thing, I think.
It was
So
like
you-
the 2000 babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are from Victoria. You were born here.
Well, I was actually born in Toronto, Ontario.
Mm.
Really?
And then Charlie and I, my twin brother Charlie, who
Shout out
I'm
Mr.
guessing
Charlie
will
Gudgeon.
be coming
Yeah.
up in the
Yeah,
conversation.
he will be.
He will
coming.
become
So-
a
He was
Yeah.
supposed to be here.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here.
But we'll get him next time.
But he's actually back in Toronto, which leads me to my point is that, I was born in Toronto, Ontario. When we were 1 year old, our parents brought us out here to Victoria. Yeah, lived
Yeah.
here till I graduated high school.
Barbara and Chris.
Yep, parents Barbara and
And I
Chris.
haven't seen you since high school.
No way.
No, yeah.
I guess so, though.
2012, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys haven't really? You
I
haven't seen him
you,
that long?
no.
No,
And you look so beautiful. You look
gorgeous.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
funny. I've seen Tavish
Yeah.
along the way.
Yeah, Brody and I,
We've
whenever, I go to school in Toronto,
Yeah.
Ontario. I just graduated in
nice.
December.
Really?
Yeah, and
Nice.
graduated from Screenwriting program,
Screenwriting
That
program.
sounds real.
Screenwriting and film from York University.
Uh,
And so every time I try and come back and visit Victoria, I usually see Brody and we try and get a hangout in.
Nice.
Try and play some
Get
squash.
a squash game in.
Yeah.
We still need to get that in, by the way.
Yeah, it's
Give
true.
her. Give her. Who usually wins?
Is it cool if I say it's me?
Is it cool if I punch you in the face? Challenge me, Tav. Come on now.
No competitive side here. Huh?
Exactly. We try to keep a neutral playing field.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about politics on this program,
Yeah.
except for food politics.
Food politics.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Yeah, food politics.
What
There's
is
a couple of podcast episodes out there.
Our last two guests have been farmers.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear you.
You
Okay.
can learn a
Yeah.
lot from those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm sure you can learn a lot from this one too.
Woo!
We're gonna tap into your consciousness and your
Love it.
knowledge.
I love it.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
So
do it.
Ready.
you studied. Why did you chose what you studied after high school?
It's a good question. So after high school, I actually took a year off of schooling. I worked at a gas station.
And you were slaying an ice cream.
I was slinging it. Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah.
I worked at a gas station. I saved up money and I traveled Europe. So I did
Nice.
3.5 months backpacking Europe,
That's
which
nice.
was crazy and which was awesome.
Yeah.
Did you do that with your brother?
I did it with my friend Reed. Who you guys
Nice.
know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My friend Reed Ian Linklater.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Sup, Reed?
And he and I had a blast, and I did the trip because I sort of was in that mindset where I knew I wanted to go to school, but I wasn't quite sure of
Yours and yeah.
what I wanted to do yet. And this was also, you guys both know this, but this was also that year, 2013, the year before my mother had passed away. So like the year that we were graduating high school is when my mom passed away.
Yeah.
And something like that is, as a 17-year-old, is hard to
To take in.
It's hard to take in. It's hard to understand, and it's hard to It's obviously hard to process. But I like even still now I don't know how to process or think about it. So like as a 17-year-old, I don't know what was going through my head. But like I knew that I didn't want to
stay here.
Yeah, I didn't want to stay in Victoria, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well put. Because there was something inside of me that felt like I needed to get away and do something that was just for myself or something like that.
Was it almost a sense of you wanted to escape what you were feeling and you wanted to travel and go distract yourself by traveling?
I think distraction was a big motivator.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you asked me at the time, I might not have been able to put it in that terms. I might have just been...
It's tricky, man. It's hard.
Yeah.
And I commend you for that. Like,
Thank
going
you.
through that, that's something that don't wish on your worst enemy.
Yeah, you've been dealt a shitty hand in your early stages of life.
But life goes on, you know, and
Yeah.
you're here now, we're here now.
The one thing that I've learned that stuck with me throughout this podcast adventure is the one constant thing in life is change.
Yeah.
The only constant thing in life is
crazy.
change.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be changing.
And it's gonna be fucked. Like, you're gonna get rocked. And
Yeah.
how do you think about it? I find that reflecting on moments like that. I mean, I've never had the experience of reflecting on a moment like that.
Yeah, not yet.
Like yours, not yet, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's soon coming.
It's
And
inevitable for everybody.
It's true.
It's inevitable for everybody, and just you don't know when it's going to happen. That's
did you road or anything like that, or?
Yeah. So, as I was traveling through Europe, actually, I kept a journal.
Nice.
Which, like, before I was traveling and keeping a journal, I never really had it come across my mind as an activity that would be enjoyable.
Right.
So I would just like keep track of the day and keep track of my thoughts and obviously feelings, and like if some little spark of creativity jolted through me, or in the form of something that I thought at the time was like something akin to poetry. Yeah. I jot it down, even though like reading back on it, it's so cringy and hilarious. but
at the moment, it served its purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And both my parents are writers. Like, they both had government jobs, but they both also like published some books. Yeah. And so I think from a young age, I was sort of invited into that world of being interested in writing and all the forms it took.
Exposed to it a lot.
Yeah.
Writing is beautiful. I mean, putting your thoughts down on paper, like, you actually take your time, because our minds go 1,000 miles an hour. Like right now, I'm probably thinking of 10 things.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually writing things down slows your thoughts down, and it makes them impeccable. I feel. Is that how you feel when
and
you're
easier to reflect?
I do feel,
and find patterns, I think,
when you write it down. Yeah. I think for me, like you said, your mind's racing with so many things, Manuel, and there's so many different types of writing as well. Like, there's writing journalistically, there's writing just for yourself, for instance. There's writing poetically, there's writing very structured forms, or for instance, like I'm sure in your program in university you had to write very structured,
very
like persuasive reports almost. But like when you're writing that, you still have like a feeling where you're like, okay, I'm going to inject a bit of my personality into
100%
into whenever I can. And so I do like that writing anything is like a little injection of your own personality into whatever it is.
Great way to put it.
Yeah.
So after your mother's death and you're traveling, did that kind of push you towards choosing your career?
Was there anything throughout your travels that was like a significant event that was a catalyst that pushed you even more in that direction that you were heading?
I don't think there was a significant event after my travels, to be honest. I just had fun, and like I didn't want to worry about the past or focus on the future too hard.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted. Yeah, exactly.
Wanted to go party.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah. You're going to Europe.
Pretty
You're
much.
backpacking across Europe.
Yeah, and you know, see new stuff and like, and sort of, test who I am a little bit and like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Learn more, see more, figure out your capacity with things.
Exactly. So the two things I knew were that I knew that I did like writing on some level, and that I knew that I did want to get out of Victoria. And I was like, hey, you know what? I was born in Toronto.
Yeah.
I've always had that sort of affinity for the city for whatever reason. You know, the imagined, fantasized version that I created in my head about how the city was big and it was bold and there was opportunity there, whatever that came in. And I decided to study screenwriting because I think, well, when I was in high school, we used to make like videos, you know.
I remember.
Yeah.
They were hilarious.
Yeah.
They were so funny.
Thank you.
They were good.
So,
and awarded too. You guys won competitions throughout high school.
Yeah, I mean it's
multiple competitions.
It's kind of crazy because, you know, when you're doing it, you're just like a bunch of high school kids doing something that you think is funny or that you think is fun.
Yeah.
And I realized that I didn't realize this then, but I think I realized something along the lines of now, like, what we were doing was fun for us and like infectious for us. So that energy sort of translated to the thing that we created, and like people could sense that one way or the other. Like, even though we were just high school kids, we were doing it without like caring about
the results.
Yeah, the results.
You were doing it because you were having fun.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you were passionate about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are two things that in every single career, it all brings together to true happiness. Like, if you're having fun and you're passionate in whatever you are doing. And in high school you were making videos and it was making you feel amazing.
Yeah, it was.
And it travels throughout time. Like, I mean, right now that's what I'm trying to search.
Yeah.
I'm trying to search something that makes me feel that way.
It's hard.
And you are very lucky that you found it.
Yeah.
In high school.
And that's what we try to get after, is that finding out that deep reasoning for your actions. And when someone, like, you can have reasoning for your actions and you can go and you can complete something, a task without super deep reasonings for that task.
Yeah.
But if you have really deep reasonings, for example, they're creating these movies, and like Manuel said, they just shine through. You just, people believe in it more and can relate to it because your passion, your reasoning, your why shows through your final final product.
Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I could say, like, you and your brothers together, you guys are so fucking infectious and attract everybody. Do you guys both, seriously, like, Charlie, undeniable, Charlie and Tavish attracted everybody because they didn't have any beef with anybody throughout high school. They were outgoing, creative, athletic, handsome, yay, right?
I appreciate it.
And attracted people because you
were yourself.
Yeah, you were yourself, and what you did it with a purpose.
I appreciate that very much.
Tell the truth.
And I do believe, part of it is, you know, when you go through an event or like a traumatic experience or you know, a traumatic experience, like you lose a loved one, or a loved one gets sick, or some sort of heartbreak, or you know, you get sick, or God forbid anything happen. I think when you go through something like that at any age, but I think especially like in
your developmental
younger
years,
age, then you have the option of either, you know, pushing yourself away from people, or sort of wearing that pain and that trauma on your sleeve, and like with everything you do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when it happened, when our mother passed away, there was a huge community, and especially through the high school, and outreach of people coming together to like support us and show us love. you two guys were there, and you guys helped us through it.
Yeah.
And like a bunch of people came out and supported us, and so I'm extremely grateful for that happening, because that doesn't always happen. And,
Community support is crucial in tragic moments like that.
yeah, exactly. And so I think the decision, and I don't want to speak for Charlie, but I think sort of there was a subconscious decision that was made in our heads to be like, either we can let this moment define who we are in a negative way, and we sort of reject all that support because it's too painful, or we can embrace it and whatever that means, like allow ourselves to as you were saying, like to roll with what life is throwing at us.
Punches,
roll with those punches.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And so you took that mentality through your degree.
Totally.
It was a 6-year degree then? Oh,
So
5 year?
So my degree was it takes 4 years to complete, but I took a while to complete it. I did feel like going in that if I'm going into this degree that encompasses these parts of filmmaking and producing videos that I liked and writing that I liked, if I'm going to be doing something artistic like that I do want to carry that mentality through, and try and only speak and say things if I think they are true. I don't know if that makes if I truly believe it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I didn't do that all the time. There were still some times when I had to write something here or there that was just
Talk shit out of your ass.
Yeah, talk shit on my ass, or was
but you
for
put
some
your
other
flair
reason.
to it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
Was it hard? Was the degree hard? Like, what do you find it challenging?
The degree?
Did you learn a lot? What was the main point that you learned?
The main point that I learned, I did feel like I did learn a lot, and what I felt I learned like the most was from the people that I met in university, and just that environment where ideas are shared, and you have like all these people with all this creativity coming together and getting to express it in a space where everyone's encouraging that expression.
A safe spot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For any ideas, and it's just like, oh, okay, this is sort of awesome, because it's like there's so much room for exploration and in writing and creativity, that it's like, okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable like saying the ideas that I think are true, or trying to express something that I think is true. And so the biggest thing I think I learned is that, and this is again sort of what we were talking about, but the biggest thing I think I learned, it wasn't even like a technical screenwriting thing, because I learned all the structural and technical elements.
It becomes muscle memory after
you
do it a while.
Exactly. And so I guess that was super important that I did learn. I did learn.
That's what degrees do, the muscle memory.
Yeah.
But you on a higher level, what was it?
I think on a higher level I learned that like if I'm creating something artistic, the only way it's going to be good is if I am honest.
Yeah.
With myself, with the story I'm trying to tell, with other people also. And I find that if there's not any truth at the base of what it is you're trying to do, I don't even think that just applies to art. I think it applies to anything. If there's no truth at the foundation of what you're trying to do, then it's not going to be meaningful to people in the way that it needs to be.
It won't sell because people won't believe you.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can fake truth though.
You can be a really good writer.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But you try to express what you are feeling. Is that what you tend to write about? Or stories, or what is your main content?
So that's a good question too, because I don't really have a, it's not like
a niche or a genre. You don't have a specific genre.
I don't have a specific genre.
Because I know you've worked all over the place with different.
Yeah.
Within that industry, you've had a bunch of different jobs. Yeah.
So Charlie and I, like we throughout my degree, like throughout my studies of screenwriting, we had made some short films just independently.
Yeah.
And both those were comedies, you know, which is sort of where we started off with in high school.
Stick it to the roots. Yeah.
So, and it's, I mean, I know now it's not like I'm saying that anything with truth in it is a higher form of anything else, or especially when I'm writing stupid comedies that have like dick jokes and everything, you know. But so our first comedy that we made was called Hot Water Frog Prince, and it was basically a parody of the fairy tale The Princess and the Frog.
Yep.
And it's about a main character that's a guy that is friends with a girl. Like his best friend is this girl that he is in love with, but she doesn't realize that he's in love with her.
Yeah.
And in his head, he has this idea that she's his like princess. She's his happily ever after.
Yeah.
And so something we're trying to play with is that he's the parallel of the frog, and he thinks that if he just gets the kiss from his true love, or like eternal true love, that he will be happy forever.
Game over.
Yeah, exactly. And so and inexplicably in the movie, he wears a crown on his head the whole time, just as like a magical realist touch.
Yeah.
And you know, as the movie progresses, he discovers that his fantasized version of the world isn't the reality of what the world is. And so in order for him to kind of learn his lesson, so to speak, he has to embrace, or maybe he doesn't embrace, but he has to see the fact that his best friend doesn't actually love him in that way, in that fantasized, imagined way, and that's actually the main character's own fault, because he's projecting that idea of something onto someone instead of taking it for the reality of what it is. And I mean that's
some sort of truth in there.
Yeah, I think
I believe so. Yeah. That happens a lot.
Yeah, it does all the time.
The way people view other people.
Yeah.
It happens in my work, and like if I'm walking around, perception, exactly.
100%.
You perceive the other person as your own imagination, whereas the other person.
Yeah.
Well, I'm never gonna know what you're really thinking, Tavish.
Yeah, it's true.
Literally.
Yeah.
I could portray an image of what I think you're thinking.
Yeah.
But I'm never gonna know until you are truly open with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until we break those barriers.
And it does require, you know, that level of trust and
exactly,
and honesty and humility.
Yeah.
That's a good film, man.
Thank you. I mean, it is a
you guys just released it.
So I over-explained it because it is a comedy.
Yeah.
And, you know,
it is. Which makes it even better.
So it's not we're just waiting for it to basically complete its cycle of being screened at festivals that we submitted it to, and then we're gonna post it online and share with, you know, the world.
The
so to
mass.
speak.
Well, let us know so we can post it on our website.
I definitely will. I'll
YouTube
send
channel,
you I'll send you the link. It'll be on Vimeo. I'm
Nice.
pretty sure. Yeah.
Nice.
Or,
Beautiful.
Or both YouTube and
Do
Vimeo.
you guys have social media accounts linked to that project? Don't you?
Yeah.
Are they active still?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That we'll be posting on.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Cool.
I guess we'll
Cool.
throw the
add
link
it.
in the page.
Yeah, we'll throw them in the show notes.
Nice.
100%.
Amazing.
So that's the first film that you've created?
That was the first like independent short film that
Project. What? This was
that we
2
had
summers ago. You filmed
2
it,
summers ago. Yeah.
Nice.
And it was like, I say independent because it wasn't through school.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was just, you know, off of our own dollar, and like that's part of the grind of being a independent artist sometimes is you gotta spend the money to make the thing that you want to do.
And how did you do it? How did you find any sponsors, investors?
You used a production company, didn't you?
Well,
Josh.
Yeah, Josh Turpin, another guy. Shout out to Josh.
What up, Josh?
another guy that we went to high school with.
Yeah. You would know him, Manny.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, who works in the film industry in Toronto. But basically, like, we had to find a lot of great people who are our friends and like who I maybe liked the idea, or maybe just wanted to work on something,
Just
or maybe
wanted to hang out,
or maybe just wanted to hang out, or maybe just did it because they're awesome people and wanted to work on set.
Yeah.
But
Did you guys have a lot of volunteers?
we did have a lot of volunteers.
Nice.
Yeah, as we tried to crowdfund the movie too, so we had like a site online and asked people to donate, and people were nice enough with
Generous?
that. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, Josh, our friend, who's a director and a producer, and he works in the film industry in Toronto, and Charlie and I told him, we're like, hey, we have an idea for a film, we want to make the movie. He's like, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's kind of the way. I mean, that's kind of the way it goes with these types of short films.
Yeah.
In film is
someone who has the equipment, who has
who has
capital.
Sometimes all they have is just like the drive to say, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And but it is a lot of work, so I do appreciate everyone who worked on it, because it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Takes
much
a lot.
money roughly do you guys, if you don't mind me asking?
Did it cost?
Yeah, your cost.
It cost, I think, in total, if you include festival submissions and like
those costs.
We had to like create some not marketing stuff, but we had to like create some packages to send to festivals and to like for pitch and stuff. But I think it was close to like $10,000.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
And you probably raised enough money to cover a good chunk of that.
We did raise enough for a chunk, so it was nice. But I mean, you can imagine like as an independent filmmaker, like trying to do more than one of those a year is pretty difficult.
And to try to make
100%.
and to make money off them.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I know some friends who have managed to make some money off of their films.
It really
off of their
depends.
short films. Yeah, and it's hard, but I think it can be done.
Totally.
It's just pure passion.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
It makes you happy.
And you just one guaranteed thing is, if you stop doing it, then you're for sure not going to make it happen.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you just keep on doing it, I can relate to that with goals. Manny can relate to that with goals. If you just keep plugging away and you're able to stay afloat financially and you enjoy doing it, why not? Why keep doing it? If there's that possibility to make that.
It's true.
That jump.
So in your mind, what is the next step? I mean, where do you want to reach?
You have another project? You said you had a couple projects going on.
Yeah, so 2 summers ago we shot the one I was just telling you guys about.
Yeah.
And then last summer we shot, Charlie and I again shot another short film called Big Fat Joke, and it's another comedy.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the premise. It's about in a near future world, say like 10 years in the future.
Yeah.
There's a mysterious disease that's circulating. And the only known side effect of the disease, the only known symptom, is that it causes people to lose their ability to be funny. So we're like, okay, that's a bit of a fun premise for a comedy.
Right.
So it follows a stand-up comedian who's living in this world, trying to follow his dreams of being a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
But of course, every corner he turns,
he goes to a show, people are sick with this virus.
Yeah. So it's like everything he encounters is just a slap in the face of his dream of wanting to become a stand-up comedian, because nobody finds him funny, and it's impossible for him to tell jokes properly, and nobody has a sense of humor because like everyone has the disease. But he's still, the idea behind it is that despite this impossible world and the literal impossibility of him succeeding at achieving his dreams, he still is sort of pushing through and trying to be a stand-up comedian.
Which is exactly what we were talking about.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that connects, but because again, that's just, I wanted to write something about something I feel like
that you can heavily relate to.
Yeah, that I can relate to, and I feel like shit, man. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard doing the thing you want to do in anything,
Dude,
really.
It's hard.
And what happens in the end? I mean, I don't want to.
Well, we can't.
Yeah,
No
we can't-
spoilers, Matty. We can't spoil that.
That'll be done
Alright.
soon, though, and
Yeah.
I'll send it to you guys.
Nice.
Yeah,
It'll be done soon.
yeah. Should be done in the. We're just editing,
Yeah.
doing post.
We'll throw it on the YouTube channel in the show notes.
Yeah, perfect.
So take me through the process, like
Yeah.
from beginning to start on how to create a film like this.
Did you? And you're the writer for these
Yeah,
films, right?
we wrote it. So it's
we wrote it. You and Charlie, or just you?
Charlie and I wrote
Nice.
Big Fat Joke.
And then the Hot Water Frog Prince.
Hot Water Frog Prince was mostly me who wrote it, but like
Yeah.
I worked with Charlie, my brother, and another friend of ours, Nat Churchill.
Really?
Shout out Nathaniel
Shout-
Potter
shout out
Churchill.
Nat.
Yeah, all these beautiful people.
Yeah. To work on like the story. So like I talked
Right.
to them to come up with like who the characters are and what they might look like or behave like.
Yeah.
And then have you guys ever read a screenplay?
No.
So it's a very
Sort of. I've read yours.
You've read mine.
I know the structure.
yeah.
How is the structure?
So the structure is it is very specific. I'm gonna see if I have one on my phone. It's
In, like specific and like it needs to follow some sort of structure.
yeah, exactly. So there's like there's almost three main components of a screenplay in terms of formatting, and that is the slug line or the heading, which is a location, so that
Yeah.
will tell you where you
Your
are.
environment.
Yeah, and that's in all caps.
Yeah.
And then below that is action lines, so that sort of that describes what you see or what you're seeing. And then the third component is dialogue. So that will have a character's name and then what they're saying. So, so a very quick example would be slugline headline would be interior Manuel's recording studio. Action line would be three handsome gentlemen sat at a table
Right.
surrounding a microphone. And then it would be the character's name Brody, and then his dialogue would say, "Hey guys, what's up? I'm Brody."
Exactly.
Exactly like that. And then Manuel. Yeah. Oh, that is funny.
So that's the structure, and basically everything starts. And I'm biased by saying this because I consider myself a screenwriter.
Yeah.
But everything starts with the script.
Yeah.
So you can't make a film until you have that script
Yeah,
written down,
100%.
and it acts as a blueprint, right? Because
Right.
the crazy thing about it is that people don't the only people that read the script are like the directors and the actors and the producers making the movie.
Yeah.
But the people watching the movie don't read the script.
Yep. It's like building a house.
Yeah. People don't see
the builder, the designer, the architect, and all the subtrades. They're not going to live in this house with this family. That'd be pretty weird, right?
Might be weird, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's like the average moviegoer goes to, say Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
At
At what time? 8:15, right?
8:45.
Yeah, you're 45. Oh.
3D.
He bought his ticket right before he
I
came
did.
up here. 3D. Reclinable seats, too.
Oh, man.
Dude.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck,
gotta get
he's
that
set.
soda. That
Yeah.
soda water. And they watch the movie and they have a good time and they go out of there and they don't, and they talk about it and they spoil it or whatever, but there's an entire screenplay that exists that was the blueprint for this full movie, and
Yeah.
it's just
That's not even seen.
not even seen, the ones aren't
Or
even seen.
acknowledged.
How long is
Yes.
Well, it's acknowledged, but it's acknowledged in the
in its translation to
yeah.
the screen. Yeah.
and at the end with the credits.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But who watches those?
Come on.
Yeah, come so
You gotta watch.
only if Tavish's name's in there.
And Charlie,
Yeah. Oh, shout out.
Yeah.
If we had anybody in credits, I would take a Snapchat of that.
100%.
Yeah.
So
You
how long
would
does it
too.
take
Oh, yeah.
to write these screenplays? I mean, how long does it could take years, huh?
It can take years, yeah. So and it depends on the length of the screenplay. So generally the rule is 1 page of screenplay equals 1 minute of screen time. So again, for example, Avengers,
Yeah.
3-hour movie.
Holy
So
fuck.
what is that? 180 minutes. So 180
Yeah.
pages. And our movies were about 10 minutes, 10 to 15. So that's 10 to 15 pages. So relatively quite short.
Yeah.
And it took, but the thing is, just because it's short doesn't mean it, doesn't mean it's easy.
like you have to picture it.
Yeah.
You have to create your character.
It's always even harder because
like,
you're trying to develop characters in such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
And make a storyline, right?
Yeah.
And make it interesting. That's tough.
It's tough. Like,
Yeah.
compressing stuff like that is ridiculous. Like, my engineering reports were like 190 pages of just like bullshit.
Yeah.
Literally.
All the technical stuff in there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Damn.
But like really like viewing and imagining
Yeah.
in a screenplay kind of scenario would be really challenging, I think.
Yeah. So
It's an art, in my opinion.
Yeah, just even trimming it down and getting all the right
Well,
stuff.
that's why they have degrees and master's degrees for this.
Yeah.
And I just learned they had master's degree for this because I walked up on Tavish grading his application for his master's degree.
Yeah.
for
So that's the
screenwriting.
short.
Yeah.
That's the short.
That's the next step.
That's the
But
next
We'll
goal.
get into.
Yeah,
we'll get into
knock
it.
on
No,
wood. You know,
We'll
see.
get into it in a bit.
But I guess so. What I was trying to say is that it varies for how long it takes. And for me, for Hot Water Frog Prince, the first one I was telling you about, I had written a sort of idea version of it when I was in my second year of university, and then I put it away and didn't touch it, and then
Saved it.
yeah, it's just
Why?
a silly. I don't know, because I didn't think it wasn't, to me, it wasn't anything.
You're just mucking about,
I was just mucking about, yeah.
writing, whatever.
Yeah. It was about a hedgehog back then, not a frog. So
Yeah.
I don't know how it changed, but it did.
Yeah.
And then just through conversations I had with Charlie and Nat, like I was inspired to make some sort of dirty, rotten,
Raunchy kind of comedy.
raunchy version of a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I have this sort of bones for this idea
Let's do it.
in the burner. So I bopped that out and like reshaped it and
Burner.
yeah. So it took me, just like to actually sit down and write it, maybe a few months, but to have the whole execution of it from conception to final draft of the script was like a year, like more than a year, like I was saying.
Shit.
And after you have the script, what is the next step?
So after you have the script, there's a couple things you can do. And me, because I'm a low time independent filmmaker,
Ice cream slanging,
gas station
gas
working,
pumping filmmaker.
yeah, because I'm not a big boy by any means, a big shot.
Oh yeah. Boom.
That's it.
What there's a few things that I can do, and one of them is like apply for a grant. So apply for some money from. There's a bunch of funding bodies. There's more in Toronto than there are in Victoria.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just because film's bigger there.
Bigger industry there, right?
Yeah, and they got TIFF there too, so they're
Right.
kind of
What's TIFF?
The Toronto International Film Festival, which is really big in Toronto.
Nice.
You guys should come.
Yeah.
You should.
It's
Your
fun.
film
Wait,
is
what?
going to be...
No, ours isn't going to be at TIFF, but TIFF is a really big festival there, and so it brings a lot of people who are interested in film to the
Nice.
city, and
And all sorts of films.
So it's
yeah,
big.
it's huge.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I wish I had the numbers of like how big, so I could say how big it is, but like it brings a couple 100,000 people to the city.
Holy shit.
I think just there for the festival.
So there's a lot of people who can sponsor you kind of
Well,
in the grant.
yeah, I mean
grants.
that's a little bit. I was just trying to
Is it
illustrate.
a hard process?
I was just trying to illustrate how much of a film city Toronto is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, if you could talk, there are producers that come to the city, and basically the idea is when you have a script, you're gonna want to work with a producer to help find money for the film, and that money can come from independent producers who
Right.
have money or have money bags and are willing to spend it on your idea.
Yeah. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, sometimes, and so it can come in that form of like an independently rich or independently wealthy person liking your idea, or it
Yeah.
can come in the there's a couple like Ontario government funds, like through arts funds or and stuff like that, and they have money set aside in the form of grants to give to people whose ideas they like.
Right.
And the idea is just to apply to all the ones that you can, that like you fit the criteria.
Do you
of
do
applying
that
to.
yearly?
Well, we did it with our last one, and we didn't get any grants, right?
For
Big Fat Joke.
For Big Fat Joke.
We tried to get grants, and we didn't get any through the bodies that we applied through, and so we said, okay, well, if we still want to make it, we're gonna have to save up our money again, and because there are quite a few costs you have to cover with renting equipment, renting a location.
Space.
Space. You have to feed everyone.
Right? Actors.
If you're paying people, you have to pay people. And also you have to pay for insurance and pay for permits and all this stuff. So it can stack up pretty quickly.
There's a lot of costs.
And it's not cheap.
So after the script, you look for a producer or apply for grants. If the producer says, "Oh my God, your idea is beautiful," the producer will be in charge of kind of mumbling and getting the money. Or people who have money to invest in you and the producer. Or you can apply for grants and do it yourself and you produce it, or you always find a producer.
So I think I'm when you're for me and Charlie, like as acting as directors of like a very, very, very small budget short film, you do have to do some producing work anyway. To
reduce costs.
To reduce well, just because it's it's your own project, so like if you want to see it get made, you should be the one putting the work in to get it made, right? But with that being said, I'll give a shout out to my producers Rachel Chavez and Julia Gallet in Toronto.
Rachel Chavez, Julia.
Because so they helped us out with Big Fat Joke, and they were wonderful, and they like moved it along, and there's a lot of paperwork and stuff, and sometimes I just don't know what the paperwork means, and so you need somebody who knows what all of it means to fill that out and send it to the right people.
How did you found your producers for?
So I went to school with them. So that's another thing I love about my program was all the connections.
Exactly. It starts there, right? Yeah. Do you think that, let's say you produce more than once a year, do you think it will be trickier in the sense of, do you think you will gain more audience? Do you think because I know
if you consistently pumped out product or content is what you're saying?
Well,
because a lot of people function like that. For example, I'm not going to compare your film, but like YouTube. Bloggers or whatever.
Or us.
The more they have, the more people are going to
any content producer.
Well, I think it's a very smart idea to always be practicing your craft, whatever it is, and always, if you can, be producing stuff. And so the absolutely, I'd love to be at a space where I could be producing more than one short film a year so far. It's been going on for the past 2 years, and like before then, through school, I made films through school, But I know filmmakers, independent filmmakers who they do make 2, 3, 4 shorts a year, or they make like a feature and a short a year. So it is possible, and it is a space that I'd like to get to, I think. But it's tricky right now, just trying to figure everything out.
All the funding, and all that. People and networking. Well, I bet throughout the years you're gonna develop your nice stack of people.
It's true. And the thing I love about YouTube is like you can film a YouTube video on your cell phone, right? So if you have an idea, you can execute it on your cell phone.
And there's a free platform right there. You can pump it out.
Exactly. And it just depends on what you want the look of it to be. And what you want the style to be. So
is that what you're aiming for?
Well, the style we're aiming for is like something a little more stylistic, a little more cinematic. So we need to rent this specific camera, this specific lens, these specific lights that do what we want to do to achieve that look.
Not just a flat production, one
Yeah,
one camera, one angle, kind of.
Yeah, you can still, you
can
can
have
still
nice
do
footage.
wonders with a cell phone and a light and
But it's not going to
cut.
look like the Avengers Endgame.
no,
Of course not.
which is playing at 8:45.
Yeah, which is in playing at 8:45.
It's playing
Recliner seats.
today? Is it today?
It's
Yeah.
playing today. It's been out for like a week or something.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've never been into. My mother-in-law, she's so into movies. She watches all the movies.
Yeah.
But whenever I watch movies, I find that I can't connect with them.
With the movie itself, or like with the characters? Oh, sorry.
No, with
Or just do you just not like the concept of watching movies? Or
I
you
like
just
watching the concept of watching movies if it teaches me something.
Yeah, but
Right.
you have a hard time connecting with movies.
Yeah.
It's hard because
I just feel that I don't know a lot about filmmaking. You know, and
Yeah.
it's something that's mysterious to me, and I don't know anything about it.
well, it's an interesting art form to me, because on one hand I feel like there's the whole that in me there was like this whole idea of a glamorized Hollywood spectacle of filmmaking, that and it has like these big name actors and
Right.
it has these massive studios.
Hollywood.
Exactly. Hollywood with capital H.
Yeah.
And filmmaking to me is such a wonderful art form because it encompasses all these other art forms. It has theater in acting. It has writing, photography, art and design, sound design. It has all these.
It's so complex.
Yeah.
So complex. It has all these pieces coming together to produce this thing that happens in front of your face. And so on one hand there is I did have that idea of filmmaking as like this grandeur spectacle, almost like magic.
Yeah.
It's like magic how all these pieces fit together and produce this thing that replicates real life but is totally fabricated and has all these different levels to it. But after working in the film industry a little bit and seeing what it's like it's like any other sort of art form. You still have to be there and put in the hours and like know all the moving parts and know all the components, and it's like it's a machine, but not in a bad way. It's like a machine in a beautiful way where you have to understand all the parts and see how they fit. And when an actor steps on set, it's not like everyone's fawning over the actor, being like, oh my god, there they are. It's like they're just another person there to do their job.
What? Are you laughing?
I was drinking water and I was like, it like hit the tickle spot on my throat. And Tavish saw me when it hit. I'm just like,
Hit the tickle spot.
yeah.
It's a beautiful moment, bro.
Yeah. It's my time to shine, guys.
But I guess my point is just that there is a lot of, for me, when I didn't know about it, there was a lot of mystery too about how it gets done
so
and
mysterious.
and what happens. And now that I've seen it and experienced it and I'm comfortable with it a little bit, I love it so much. I
Were you
love all the
surprised?
different parts.
Were you surprised about how much is involved in the process of making a film?
Well, I wasn't surprised because like I
You had an idea.
I had an idea going in.
already.
Yeah, but I was a little bit. I became like more comfortable with the idea of it. I
Nice.
don't know if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Right.
That makes sense.
No,
Yeah.
totally. More experienced.
Yeah, it was like a little scary at first. Like
Yeah, you're like,
first,
oh my god, is this what
Right.
needs to be done?
yeah, everything
Right.
that needs to be done.
Yeah.
It is scary, but
you-
sometimes like the scary things are.
The best.
Do you think it kept you
True.
motivated? Does it keep you motivated? Are you still scared?
I am a little bit scared. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm scared a lot of like if people are gonna like the stuff we do.
Yeah.
Is that what you fear the most? It's just people liking it?
I don't know.
Because I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Yeah.
All your content's fucking great. I laughed my pants off every time.
It's good to have the supporters.
Yeah, totally.
100%, but it is scary in any field that you're taking.
Yeah.
Just taking that big step, but if you keep pushing, do you find that you learn from other people, or
Totally.
you're an independent learner?
No, I totally find I.
Do you have
learn from
any
other
like
people?
key people that you look up to in this industry that are your inspirations or role models?
That's a great question. So, the other thing I love about filmmaking is how, like I was talking about all those pieces, it's so collaborative.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
100%.
A guy I really look up to actually is Des May, our friend.
Des May. Shout out Des May.
He's a cinematographer, so he's on the camera side of things.
Yeah.
And he just knows all his shit, right? He has it all. He knows how to get the look of the image that he wants.
The aesthetics.
Yeah, and he knows how to find the pieces that will get that image there.
When you mean pieces, the
So
tools needed.
So he knows like, okay, I want
what camera
I want,
and what
exactly.
Film.
Yeah, I
what
want
film
this
to use.
lens
Yeah.
on this camera.
Lens.
And this light shining this way on his face at this angle at this time is going to make it look, either softer or harsher than it needs to be. And this little touch of color here will.
He went to school for that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and then he started working like a renegade in the Vancouver film industry.
Yeah.
So I admire like people who have that very technical expertise in what it is they do, and like just a very good knowledge of all the parts. Because you look at something maybe even as I say simple, but it's not simple, but something as simple looking as a microphone. And then you're like, wait, how the shit does it do what it does? And like, there's all these pieces to it, and what do they all do?
Yeah.
And then you take a big honking thing like a film camera or a cinema, a movie camera, and you're like, okay, what does this switch do? What does this knob do? What does this button do? And like, what does it all mean? And how does it all connect? And so, people who know that shit, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are probably pretty damn valuable in that industry.
Do you want to learn it? Do you find that you want to learn it?
I do want to learn it, even though I'm more of I love to sit down by myself and be at the computer typing away kind of guy.
In your own world.
Yeah, I do enjoy the moments of collaboration in film and like learning new stuff about it that will advance my understanding and ability to create film.
Yeah, your credentials really.
Yeah.
So, your life at the moment, it revolves around filmmaking?
It does, largely,
Is there any other things that you do that feed your soul, feed your mind? What is it that you spend your days?
Yeah.
I spend time with my girlfriend, Nicola.
Shout out Nicola.
Shout out to Nicola Kivel, who I've been seeing since high school. Yeah, you guys know. Yeah, you guys know.
I dated Nicola before Tavish did.
Stop! And she, so she definitely feeds my soul and encourages, my creativity and is always supportive.
There's that support system. We can all relate to that.
Yeah.
That's probably the most important one.
Yeah. Well.
One of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so spending time with her and spending time with my brother Charlie, and my dad actually lives in Toronto now, so he moved out to live with to live near Charlie and I in Toronto.
Yeah.
My other brother Tony, he lives in Victoria, but still, keeping in touch with him.
Yeah.
I do like to read a lot too. Like I'm a big fan of short stories. I read short stories a lot. I find the form almost more cinematic.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, but
that makes sense.
So I read short stories as a preferred option. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just because that's what interests you and you want to build off ideas and.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like for me, every time I read something good, it makes me want to copy that.
Right.
Create something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
create
it
something.
inspires you.
Yeah, totally inspiring, and like I can learn something from it, and like
And you're like, I could
gain
do
something
better
from
than
it.
that.
Well, I don't know if I think
Well,
that.
Do you
probably good.
do you picture yourself thinking what was this person thinking when creating this?
I do picture something along those lines. I picture like how did this person get to this spot where they figured this out? You know,
Right.
even in
Where did this click?
even in fiction, you know, when you read a good piece of fiction and you're like, I know somebody exactly like this person, and they feel like a real person doing yeah, they feel like a real person. I'm like, how did this person who write this make this character
Yeah.
feel so real?
Yeah.
How did they what
How
did they
did they
learn
learn? What did
to
they
know
learn?
that,
Yeah.
to know how to do that?
Have you find yourself? Do you feel like you've done this with a character?
I don't know if I can.
That's hard. You
I mean,
might
I
have done
hope-
it unknowingly.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
I hope, that's what I strive to do, so I
Right.
would hope so.
So you put a lot of emphasis in your characters. You
Yeah.
really dive into them.
Yeah.
What techniques do you use when developing a character in a short film? Because it's harder to develop characters with a limited amount of time, isn't it?
It is. I think it's hard to develop a character anyway.
Overall,
anything, but in a short film, developing a character, I guess I start with the same thing where I want it to have some hint of truth to it, you
Right.
know? Some hint of honesty that doesn't have to relate to me, but a hint of something that feels honest to me
Yeah.
in the character. So I think starting with, say, Big Fat Joke, the last film Charlie and I did.
Yeah.
The main character is a stand-up comedian who lives in a world where people can't be funny.
Right.
And so I think I wanted there was a hint of desperation and a hint of somebody wanting to achieve their goals and their
Yes.
dreams,
But then it hasn't felt noticed. Like, notice me, for fuck's sake.
yeah. But
Yeah.
always being met with that rejection is like
Yeah.
a feeling that I have experienced.
Oh, fuck.
And so I always
Yeah.
I wanted to inject that little bit into the character.
Yeah, right there, I can heavily relate to that character already.
Yeah.
100%. Just by that. Just
Yeah, I
like,
can relate to that.
yeah,
character.
right? I'm
yeah.
pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that. Knowing they can achieve something, but they're being overlooked for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But for probably not even a reason that has anything to do with them. Being overlooked for something completely
Out of their control.
out of their control.
Exactly.
It's politics.
Because the thing I've been thinking a lot recently is just that it comes to everything is just lucky,
You think
where
so?
where you're
Yeah.
well not everything, I should say everything, but like where you're born, what you're born with, how much time you've got,
Mm-hmm.
what you do with it. It's just so much of it can be determined by luck, but the thing that you can control is your attitude approaching it.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Manuel and I, we talk about it and we call it divine time.
Divine time.
I mean, you have
I like
all
that.
these ideas in your head, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, the first film that you did, you had your idea when you were in second year university,
Yeah.
but it wasn't ready to come out.
It wasn't
Okay.
divine
It
time.
wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, it came out.
Yeah.
It time took, and
Yeah.
divine time said, okay,
Yeah, because it's not
Tavish,
that
it's gonna
that
come out.
idea still existed.
And
right?
there's things like that will happen throughout your life.
Yeah, and you probably already have things like that building up your next projects.
It's true.
Or next ideas. You're guarantee. I have it. Manuel has it. We have it together. Like, maybe you're planning
And I think
for stuff, and I think it's important to be patient.
Yeah.
with
Be
it
patient.
and not be critical of yourself if you feel like it's not getting done quick enough or it's
Yeah.
not being, but you're still moving forward a little bit, but you just can't get frustrated with it
At
because
the
you got to
same
trust that
time-
it will get done.
Yeah. And at the same time, I feel it's crucial. Like, how did you pull out this film
Mhm.
from your second year? You
Yeah.
had it recorded somewhere.
Yeah.
You put your idea somewhere.
It's true.
I feel like if you document stuff, right? Whatever idea you have. Do you have a book that you document all your ideas or something like that?
I have a journal. I've kept up the journaling.
It's called the MacBook.
And a notebook.
Yeah.
MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, right now,
Book,
Yeah.
I feel like in Google Drive, I keep doing these folders of all of my ideas.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I
You know?
have notes on my phone
Yeah.
that I
All of
keep
my
track.
ideas, and I know that they won't be done within like
Yeah.
the next 20 years.
He,
but I
he
mean,
accidentally
true.
added me to one of his ideas, his traveled around the world idea.
Oh, really?
I have
Yeah.
20 countries that
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
like
go.
20 countries, and it's like all the main pages from the Wikipedia, the picture, the map,
Yeah.
and then like the core what to do in those,
Yeah.
the best things to do
Like,
in those
I
countries.
know I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do it next
For-
year or
Yeah.
next month,
but it's there.
but just documenting it
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense to me because later in years
Yeah.
when timing is right,
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna look at that and I'm gonna say, holy fuck, I
That's
have
true.
it right there.
Yeah, it's time
It's
to
true.
do it. It's time to do it.
You need a space to store that, and I also think it's like, just like anything, it's a muscle. So like having these ideas and jotting them down, the more you keep track of your ideas,
Yes.
the more like the ideas come, and you start to notice the good ones.
Right.
So if you jot them down, practice that muscle of like ideation and
Yeah.
idea creation. And,
Creativity and
yeah.
And the habitualness of writing, actually physically writing it down.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
that's habit, right? It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, there it is, write it down.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something and I forgot. I think it was around.
Wasn't the divine time?
It wasn't
divine
the
time.
divine time.
True.
divine time.
It was the divine time, but Brody had a roll.
Yeah, I was rolling.
He was rolling. I didn't want to interrupt him.
He did.
It
He
was
entered
beautiful
another
what he
level.
was saying.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think it was along the lines that. Man, I can't do it.
No?
It's
No.
out there.
It's out
It'll
there.
come back.
You should
Yeah.
you should have wrote it down, Manny.
I should have wrote it down, man.
The
I wish
idea
I could
done.
like things that I think. I wish there was some sort of technology that I could document everything.
Just
That
like
would
a
be nice,
fucking idea parachute or idea net. That just all the ideas that spew out of your brain that you lose, it just
Yeah.
falls in a
Because
net.
in there, like we were saying, it happens 1,000 miles an hour,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How do you document all that?
Yeah.
And I think the easiest way is to record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
The
what this
podcast.
podcast
Yeah.
is doing for me at least.
Yeah,
I don't know
for
if
me as well, I've learned so much. Well, what I pulled out from this podcast is I talked to you during when I took a piss is just just being able just learning the tools of sitting down and having a conversation with people. Like it's
Yeah.
easy to come and sit and have a conversation with Tav because we've known Tavish for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get in and we were having interviews and conversations with people that we just met right there and then, then it's the challenge. What we have learned is how to like create an environment that we are accommodating to our guests and to be able to pull out the best from our guests. And I think what would that be? It would be like management
No, I think
strengths or
that's-
something, or
that's a very-
interpersonal communication strengths,
communication
right?
skills, and
Yeah.
it's crazy to think how people can just sit down across from each other, not knowing each other,
Yeah.
and have a beautiful conversation.
Yeah.
And we
Have you
haven't had.
experienced that?
I have, and I think it is. Well, I like the name "Adventuring for Knowledge"
Yeah.
because I like to think, in terms of story
Yeah.
Yeah.
and in terms of telling stories, and I'm
Yeah.
like, every story is an adventure. Every story you have to tell starts in one place and it'll take you in a different place, and along the way is when the hero of that
happens,
story,
yeah.
something happens,
Yeah.
and they learn something. To me, that's like it's kind of
I
it's
see
not
what you mean.
yeah, it's not anything groundbreaking to say or something. It just I like the idea at a story at its core is somebody learns something along the way to somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I like the title of Adventuring for Knowledge, because you guys are willing to go into something without knowing where it could go and without knowing what you're gonna learn, but as long as you're open to learning.
Yeah.
And that is what is honest about you guys. You guys are honest with the fact that you're open to learn something and that you don't know everything. You know,
Exactly.
like God bless the people who
know everything.
Yeah, who know everything,
yeah.
sit in their chairs and don't want to learn another thing in their life, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that humans are professional learners.
They can be.
To learn how to be a professional learner is tricky.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
You have to be open-minded.
You got to open your mind up. Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't know I was gonna learn about anal and vaginal examinations. I had to go with the flow.
You really didn't know you were?
I really didn't know. He knew because he already knew what Krista was all about. I had no idea.
You were adventuring.
I
into those
I
examinations.
dove right in. Dove right in.
So what do you want to learn now that we're talking about the subject of like?
Yeah. What's your next step? What excites you?
Is that why you're taking your master's degree? Like what are
Yeah.
you looking to learn?
You just want to keep the
I'm-
ball rolling, the show going.
I'm looking to learn how to really like make something out of this thing I love, you know.
Yeah.
Really make a career for it and really have the get the support from it that I need to raise a family and settle down and like have a fulfilling, you know, it's the dream that anyone might have is like have a career they love that supports their life.
Yeah, totally. And doing it properly. Like you're not just going and trying to make a film without education. You gone and got your undergrad degree in screenwriting. Now you're looking to go to get a master's degree in screenwriting. It's not like you're just kind of winging it. You're setting yourself up, doing the right steps, and you're not going backwards. You just keep going forwards.
Well, do you find that? Sorry.
I just had a thought because I realized there is something I do want to learn.
Yeah, what is
What's that?
What I've realized is that this industry is a lot of putting yourself into uncomfortable maybe not uncomfortable, but into unfamiliar situations where you have to talk to people and sell yourself as an idea and like sell your ideas to people, and you have to throw yourself into situations where you're trying to make connections.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's not something that I feel like I am that great at yet, you know.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm not great at going out to a function, a room filled with people who I would
pitch your idea.
Right.
Yeah, who I'd want to talk to, who would be good connections for me to take me to the places I'd want to go.
Yeah.
I'm not great at going up to them and having a conversation that where I'm able to, you know,
Take it where you want.
take it where I want. Ask them
Control.
the questions that I want to ask them.
Right.
And I don't know why, but it's hard.
Why? Are you afraid of approaching them, or
Have you had that experience in the past doing it?
There is a bit of nerves, you know.
Yeah.
100%?
I think I feel like I know it sometimes is a silly worry, but sometimes I'm worried that I don't want to come across as a nuisance or like I'm annoying somebody by
Being
asking
forward.
them, by being forward. Yeah, I guess it's hard to say what you really want. Like it's hard to
100%.
straight up tell people that.
But people like
And you know
honesty,
what?
and you know that, right? That you've been saying it's like you want to show truth.
Yeah.
Through
Truth
your
and honesty.
characters and whatnot, and that's the same with interpersonal communicating. Is just be open.
Yeah.
Approaching to someone is in with that regards, I feel it's so tricky.
It is tricky.
And the tools that I have used that have really helped me is whenever I'm approaching someone, if I have the time to research them prior to, I research them fully.
Really.
Research what they've done, if they have a LinkedIn profile, I'll just go in there and see what jobs they had, and I see what the jobs, and then I research the job and I see what character a person needs to have.
Yeah.
And that's so. What do you find you like that?
When I
teaching you?
research someone, it makes me feel safe that when I approach the person, it doesn't change anything.
Right.
It just makes me feel safe. That
Right.
when I am approaching, there's no conversation that the guy or the woman is going to throw at me that I am not going to surf it the way I want to.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
So
Preparing yourself.
it's preparing yourself.
Yeah.
And that could be like if you're, for example, if you're approaching a screenwriter that or a producer that you really want to work with.
Yeah.
If you research that producer fully
Yeah.
and read reviews or something like that from them, and then you're automatically making yourself safe.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
I know what you mean though.
Would you say it's like a familiar? It's familiar. They're
It's
already
familiarity.
familiar to
100%.
You almost somewhat know the person,
And
right?
if I do not know the person, how I approach it is I start with just nice and polite comments, not even going to the subject right away.
Yeah.
And even asking something deep, like after the first little sentence,
Yeah.
something deep.
People appreciate that.
If you ask someone something deep,
Yeah.
like, where are you coming from, or how are you feeling today?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you?
Yeah.
Something
like,
personal.
Are
You
you
have to mean.
nervous?
You have to mean it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, are you
Yeah.
nervous? Like,
Yeah, it's true.
something, anything that really is kind of like a little intimate.
That's not fake.
That is not
Yeah.
fake. Like, if I think that opens the door to a lot of things.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, for example, coming in here and talking to you, like,
Yeah.
how you feeling today, Tavish?
I'm feeling.
How do you feel now? How did you
Now?
feel when you first came in and started speaking compared to now speaking into a microphone?
So, when I first came in,
Yeah.
I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
Because it was going into something unknown. But then the other reason I was nervous is because I knew you guys, and I wanted to talk about it, but I knew you guys were gonna, ask about my life and like what has shaped me and made me unique.
Yes.
And that's a hard, sometimes difficult subject for me because of my mom passing away.
Yeah.
But also, and I don't think I mentioned this yet, but I also of Keating passing away. Yeah.
You haven't.
Yeah, my younger brother who passed away 2.5 years ago in October. It's devastating. Yeah, it's a fucking devastating thing to have happen to
Anybody.
Yeah, and me and Charlie and my family.
Yeah.
And it's so I'm gonna relate this sort of in a weird way, but it's almost like when if I'm going up to people and I'm trying to be my full authentic version of myself, my mother and my brother Keating are both things that I have to carry with me, you know?
Yeah.
Otherwise I'm hiding some part of me.
100%.
And the thing is, sometimes it's scary for me to bring those up because sometimes I bring those up and people don't know how to react to it, and it's not their fault, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everyone has something going on, you know. Everyone has a
trauma.
darkness. Everyone has a
Everyone
trauma.
has trauma,
Yeah.
100%.
So I'm not saying that people don't know how to handle that, but sometimes, you know, when I bring it up or people find out, it changes the way that the interaction goes or something like that.
Yeah.
And that is a little bit scary for me because it's something that I'm always thinking about, like, that I don't want to be defined by, and I want it to be a source of inspiration and strength and not a source of pain, of constant pain.
Yeah.
So I think there is always, you know, it's hard to be yourself and authentic anyway.
It's so hard, man.
And just part of my own journey to trying to become myself, become my authentic self, and especially share that with other people, is having to touch that pain and that darkness that is associated with my mother and with my brother.
And like you said, when you approach someone, it's difficult to know how they are going to react.
You can't, you
You
can't know.
have no idea.
And you
right?
can't control it.
You can't control it, right?
Yeah.
But everyone has identities in this world. Like, you have 1,000 identities. You might not know all of them.
True.
You might define yourself as having only one or two identities. Right?
Yeah.
One identity of yours is your past
Yeah.
and your traumas. And when you're having a conversation, the more identities, in my opinion, the more identities that you can portray, to the other person, the more truthful and the more raw you're going to be.
And the more that they're going to trust you, because you're just transparent with who you are.
Yeah.
So
And then anything going forward, there's gonna be this automatic assumption based on how your transparency and your interactions about who you are and what you're about. Going forward, they'll trust you with more, right?
Yeah.
You'll gain trust.
It's true.
So when you're approaching the person, I feel that in my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is our all opinionated.
Yeah.
Right.
All opinion that
Of course.
it is good that you are carrying that pain with you and
Uh-huh.
portraying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is essential that you portray all your other identities.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes.
And I also,
Do you tend to do that?
I don't know if I do. It's a hard thing.
Or do you
I don't
only
know.
portray one identity or two?
Well, the thing is, I don't know how aware I am of what I'm coming across.
How you're
as.
perceived.
Yeah, I'm not sure how aware I am of that when I'm,
Yeah.
in a situation like that, in certain social situations that require me to be maybe a little more forward than I'm more comfortable with being.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know if that, but do you guys? So something I guess I struggle with is being. Do you find that there's some people that you just don't want to be open and honest with?
Yep.
You just shut them out, and you don't, and maybe it feels like
Yeah.
you're closing a bit of a door, but you still just feel like it's more right to shut
I
it
only,
out a bit.
I only do that to people that I don't trust.
Right.
I do not do that.
You don't do it, yeah.
100% don't do it.
Because I see I feel like there is merit in not doing it. But
Yeah.
it's scary.
100%
Yeah.
don't do it, and I feel, in my opinion, that it is so magical. Like you said, film industry is magical.
Yeah.
To me, conversation,
Yeah.
truthful conversations
Yeah.
is magical, because
Yeah.
you can talk about anything
Right.
True.
with anyone.
Right.
And if you don't
Right.
trust a person, it doesn't matter to me, because I'm going to trust. I always trust everyone.
Right.
There's not a single person in this world that I wouldn't say anything.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense because then it's like
Then it's out there.
It's out
not
there.
like
Right.
I'm holding it.
Right.
and it's like if the path isn't explored, it's their fault for closing it.
And they can accept me for who I am,
Right.
or they can say, fuck, like, bye-bye.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, you are being too honest with me,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna walk out the room.
Yeah.
But then it means that that person is not meant to talk to me, because if I am hiding something from them, like you said, the avenue is not explored.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna practice that more.
Yeah,
'cause
me
that
too,
Makes
I think.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
being 100%. Like, for example, I'll give an example. I just
Yeah.
went to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking tan.
I went to Hawaii,
Yeah, yeah.
and we had a van of 9 people,
Holy fuck.
right?
Stinky.
Wow.
Stinky, and we drove across the whole island,
And you camped.
and we camped. So the first
Real
night,
stinky.
Sounds
the
gorgeous.
first night
Were
we
there
drove.
showers?
No,
Sorry.
we drove right, and
Yeah.
we stumbled across this ice cream shop, and the guy in the ice cream shop said, "Are you going to Cafe Attitude?" This hippie dude,
Right.
and we're like, "No, we're not going to Cafe Attitude, but thank you." And then he said, "Oh, it's vegan gourmet," and we're like, "Because I'm vegan," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it totally changed my perspective."
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I'm going." So
This guy just knew to tell you guys about it?
yeah,
Or just-
he sensed something in us that we needed to be there.
Crazy.
We went there, and it was the most local thing that you have you ever seen the movie with Jennifer Aniston and this other dude that they go to this community where it's like,
Is it a couples retreat?
no, it's not couples
is it?
retreat.
Oh, is
It's
it Wanderlust?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wanderlust, beautiful movie, awesome
I do
movie.
love that movie, yeah.
So picture this: we drive into the van, right? And there's 9 people in the van, and we're going down, and we go through the fucking jungle.
Yeah.
Literally, and it's
Love it.
and it's at night. Everyone's freaking out. They're like, "How are we gonna come back? It's raining. It's the
Yeah.
jungle."
Are you driving?
I'm driving.
Yeah.
We're like, it's 9 at night. Like,
Yeah.
how are we gonna do this? So we get there, and then the first thing that I see is cell phones off.
Whoa.
All cell phones off. So everyone's like, "Well, that's weird."
Yeah.
We go in, and then the guy greets us. Instantly, I felt the energy of love.
Wow.
He's just smiling. He's shirtless. He's
Yeah.
like, he's like, hey, how you doing? You want to park your van there? There might be people parking behind you. And I was like, 100%. I was so happy.
You're
right?
in. Yeah.
And what happened is that he started scanning us with this sensor to see if we had our phones on.
Right.
And that instantly shut everyone. Everyone that was not comfortable with that, they had a block. They were like, this is crazy, man. Like, why can't we have our phone?
Right.
And I accepted the person for who they were.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to put my phone away. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's take this to the next experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
And from there on, we went to their garden. And their garden is where they cook all their food. They don't use any food from anywhere else.
No way. So
And
it's
then
like
they
a
took us
totally-
to their church,
Yeah.
where they told us that they do ayahuasca every Saturday. This is a true community, man. Like,
Yeah. Crazy.
really community based. Everyone does their work. They wake up every morning.
Yeah.
They work the farm.
Wow.
Then they sell their stuff in the coffee shop or whatever.
Wow.
And then they have really intense
Yeah.
beliefs that 5G is killing you and stuff like that. And I accepted them for who they were.
Right.
But everyone else was freaking out. They're like, oh
Yeah.
my God, they do
That's-
ayahuasca every Saturday. They don't want our
Jesus.
phones. They
Yeah.
Like,
It's-
yeah.
like put a barrier on the other people's, so they
Yeah.
were
True,
experiencing pain,
It's true.
right? They were experiencing pain.
And for you, it was just an interesting experience.
For me, it wasn't. It was another experience.
a crazy interesting. You can't
Yeah.
get
I
that.
was
That's probably
gone.
one of the best, weirdest experience of
Weirdest.
your life.
And
Yeah.
then after that, we went to the beach and they're like, oh yeah, in our community, we take rocks from the beach up like 100 stairs to the top, and they gave us all buckets. Everyone else was like, what the fuck, man? Like, we're not here to work.
Yeah.
The buckets were heavy.
Yeah.
So I decided to carry all the buckets up.
All of
Wow.
them. Everybody's buckets.
Except for two, because I was fucking tired. I was
Yeah, yeah.
sweating, right?
Matt and Andreas better pick them up.
Matt picked it up. in the
Okay,
end,
okay.
yeah.
Shout out Matt.
So I think Andres did it too.
Okay,
But
Andreas.
everyone else
Shout
was
out
like,
Andreas,
I'm
too.
not doing buckets. I was
Fuck
like,
it.
I'm gonna carry the buckets for everyone, right?
Yeah.
But and then all of a sudden, this guy comes up and he's like, this child comes up and he says, when before you guys were arriving, our leader was saying, because it was raining,
Yeah.
our leader was saying he prayed that a van full of people rolled in.
No way.
And 5 minutes later, we rolled in.
No way.
As soon as this child told me this, I started crying.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling goosebumps right now because
Powerful.
it's powerful shit, man.
Yeah.
And I immerse myself into that with a full open mentality of accepting everyone for who they are.
Yeah.
And they might have beliefs and values or traumas that make me feel kind of funky.
Yeah. True.
And then I just started saying everything that I believed to them.
Yeah.
And they accepted me for who I was.
Nice.
That's powerful.
So it was a really powerful moment for me.
Yeah.
And it showed me that if I am truly open with everyone,
Wow.
the way that community was with me,
Yeah.
they didn't give a fuck what I think. They were like, put your phone away, man.
Yeah. True.
Or like, yeah, with the way I was every Saturday.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, carry the rocks. I was like, okay.
Yeah. True.
And then at the end of the day, the meal was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was the best meal of my life.
No way.
And it made me feel very happy, and it's something that I will carry for the rest of my life, the openness and acceptance.
That's an amazing
That is.
story.
So
That
what
is
did
an
you
amazing story.
what did you learn from that?
Well,
What can you take from that little anecdote?
I think it's crazy how open and honest everyone was willing. Well, not everyone in your party, but everyone from the commune. It sounds like was willing to be, and it sounds like their hearts were open for it. You know,
Yeah.
they were open for people, and to really listen to someone. I think what that story made me think is that to really listen to someone, it means like you can't be judgmental about the things that they're saying, because if you're judgmental, then person's going to catch on and they're not going to fully say the things that they are trying to say.
100%.
Because it's
They
going to get in the way.
they didn't even ask us for our names.
No?
No. It was
Yeah.
like,
Really?
I
It
don't care.
doesn't matter, yeah.
Doesn't matter to them. They were like, I don't care about your name. I just care of who you are.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, man.
That's crazy.
So they
And how
were
did they get like that? Like a full community?
right? They
Yeah.
were expecting us to open up the same way they were.
How big was the community? Like 100 people?
No, it was less than that.
Like
It was
20?
20, yeah.
Wow.
That's tiny.
But
How many days were you there for? Just one night?
oh man, everyone after the dinner like
They were like,
everyone
we
wanted
wanna leave.
Get out of it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I was like, can I live here?
Did everyone else like love the dinner too?
At the some people like they join in the vibe.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
felt they felt
They
the
caught the
love.
vibes, yeah.
They felt the love, the openness, and
Yeah.
how just free it is to not judge.
Right.
Yeah.
Even when you, for example, are having
Yeah.
or is approaching a producer, for example,
Yeah.
from what you told me,
Yeah.
it feels like something that stops you is judgment or
Totally.
the fear of judgment. From
Totally.
them.
The fear of judgment. Totally.
That's something that
Gotta let go.
you gotta let go.
It's hard.
Because what if all of a sudden you just speak out your tongue and then the person connects with you?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know if you didn't speak your crazy mind.
Do you feel like fear of judgment when you're writing sometimes?
I do feel that fear, but I find that I've been more so in writing than anything else. I've been able to channel myself away from that fear, you know,
Yeah.
or like embrace the fear and embrace the darkness and the pain and
Right. And use it as fuel. And
yeah,
then,
I guess.
towards your writing.
And I'm
Totally.
curious, like you did 2 comedies, like
Yeah.
is your next thing going to be a comedy as well?
So that's a good question because I have a few ideas for what I want the next thing to be, but even as they are comedies, there is like, I would hope so. I hope there's like a sense of something darker and something a little deeper. Not that
Yeah.
comedies aren't deep,
Yeah,
but like
right.
something a little bit more dramatic or darker than
Yeah.
a comedy.
Do you feel like you haven't done that because you have fear of judgment of people watching?
Or you
I
feel
don't
like
know.
it's already in there. You feel like it's in there already?
I feel like I would hope it to be in there,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe it hasn't come across because of that fear. But there's always room to
Yes.
yeah, you got to
100%.
practice it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing. You just gotta practice it.
Well-
Is for this. Okay, so for one practice that Manuel and I did, I remember it. It's on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Holy fuck! This,
This
was,
was completely shattered all judgment for the year.
Well,
this is how we started the year. So
yeah.
so everybody was liquored.
Yeah.
We were sober, and it was
Right.
Gabby was in Ontario. Shout out to Gabby.
Shout out.
And then it was Manuel and Hope. That's it. It was just us 3.
My wife Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Hope. And we went to Bon Skilling's place for a party.
Right on.
And then there was shout out Bon Skilling's.
Shout
Then
out
there
Bon.
was a amazing firework display
Yeah.
Really?
that he set up.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell the whole story. Fuck it. So leading up to the fireworks,
Yeah.
all we hear around is like, oh, it's probably not going to be that good, oh, blah, blah, just like negativity towards Bond. So there was that kind of negative tone already. And then Manuel's like, all right, last 10 minutes of the year, let's start jumping. We're like, yeah, so we jumped
Yeah.
nonstop for 10 minutes straight until
That's exercise.
the New Year's.
Yeah.
We were just jumping. We're like, fuck it. It was cold. too.
Yeah.
So we were just jumping. And then jumping. And then all of a sudden, hear people beaking behind us. He didn't give a fuck. He blocked everything out.
People
'Cause-
making fun of you for jumping.
Yeah, and then there was some guys chirping over here, and I chirped back a bit, but I'm still jumping.
Yeah, you're a chirpy guy.
But yeah, I was a little chirpy. And Manuel's not saying anything. And he doesn't even notice, because after the fact,
It's like, you didn't hear all those guys and notice he didn't hear.
Yeah.
And Hope and I would hear all this negative stuff being hucked at us, and we were like, fuck yeah, like who gives a fuck? We feel great.
But I feel like that is a perfect example of fear of judgment.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
At the time, I had no fear.
I
of
had
judgment.
no fear of judgment. I didn't give a fuck.
Looking stupid, jumping, yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't care.
and I'm able. I know just from that, and that's not the only way of practicing, or the only time that I practice that. But I know that space so well that I can bring it into, and use that created space of no fucks.
Yeah.
And bring it into all my other spaces that I'm involved with. And,
Yeah, true.
And yeah, I'm not going to act the same in every
I have
other
a
space. I'm not going to
question,
be
though.
jumping all the time in every space, but I can bring the head space.
But I have a question. Like,
What's up? Shoot.
Why did you chirp back?
Why did I chirp back? Because there was instinct.
So instinct.
Yeah, it was instinct, and it was like,
So-
I didn't feel like I didn't need to explain myself.
Right.
I was more just kind of I was deflecting. I was just like,
So by saying something back, is that accepting the other people by who they are? Because you accept them for if they're chirping, so what? Like it
no,
rolls
it's
in and then it goes
not
on.
it's not accepting. No, it's not accepting. If it accepting, I would have just like whatever.
Exactly.
And
right?
blown it off.
Would
But
have been better if you didn't chirp.
No, because I was so deep. I don't think so, because I was so deep in my space of who not giving a fuck. I didn't give a fuck about nothing.
Okay.
Like,
I see.
Yeah.
right?
Just
Like,
what
I
came,
was so
what
in-
came to you at the...
I'm just
just like-
analyzing the moment, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah, it
what
didn't.
if-
It didn't affect how I felt.
it didn't affect how you felt, but what you portrayed to the other person was different
It was,
by chirping back.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. You could have portrayed me as some asshole that was jumping for the last 10 minutes, but I don't give a fuck. Whatever. I was just I was jumping for the last 10 minutes, stay
Yeah.
warm and have a good time.
But what I was trying to get,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
You come
go
on, get
deep
at
on
it.
you,
Get
man.
at it.
Is that what if
Yeah.
would it be beautiful if you didn't have to say anything back?
It probably would have been better. It would have made me look better.
But it's not about viewing, but do you think that
I
it
would have
was-
felt better if I didn't engage.
Yeah, but like if it was a self-defense mechanism from yourself to
Yeah.
chirp back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think I would have felt better if I didn't say anything?
Well, I think that
It was,
by you chirping back,
it was an insecurity probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Does that make sense?
Sure. It was probably, yeah. I think my reaction was probably derived from insecurities of myself.
Yeah. Something like that.
Which
it's beautiful,
created my instinct, right?
Exactly, right?
Right.
So being fully secure with yourself is something that
It's tough.
it's tough as well.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's impossible, so...
No.
there's so many deep layers with regards to insecurity and
Yeah.
judgment and how to talk to someone without getting those two in the way.
Yeah.
Insecurity and judgment.
Well, something I was thinking about is, as you guys were explaining these... Cool.
Yeah.
Explaining these ideas is that I think something that drew me to writing in the first place
Yeah.
is the fact that it is having control over this world that you get to create.
Right.
And I actually think the moments where I let go of wanting or needing some sort of control over a world are the moments like where I let go of the idea of what I think the story should be, and I just let the story kind of come to me. Is when I write what I feel is to be the strongest stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of almost the same to what you guys are talking about in everyday life. Like if you try and have control, if you try and like force your own control into a situation
Yeah.
by for instance chirping guys back, by trying to like
Right.
escalate things, if you try and force how you want the situation to go in by controlling it that sense, then it
Probably won't turn out the way.
well, it sounds like it shuts off the parts of of you that leave you open for
Right.
for exploration.
Right.
Which I guess was what Manuel was saying.
Right.
And
It's true.
and the thing is, like, so it comes down to putting in the prep work beforehand, but then, like, now I'm talking about writing, like putting in my prep work so I understand structure and I understand story and I read and I watch stuff, or anyone reads and watch stuff. But then when they step into that realm of creation, letting it take you wherever it needs to take you,
Exactly.
instead of having some bad idea come towards you, and instead of saying, hey, fuck you, bad idea, I'm gonna force you away, being like, okay, well, let's see why I'm having that bad idea.
Yeah. Why is it really a bad idea?
Maybe.
Let's
Or is it
explore
a bad
this
idea?
Yeah, maybe.
It could be a good idea. Right.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Not maybe. Yeah. I think that's true. I agree.
tapping
I
in-
agree with that statement.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that you just tapped into a reflective self.
Yeah.
You just reflected right there.
Yeah,
And you
geez.
can do this every day.
Yeah.
If you talk to someone.
Yeah.
Or if you... I find it so hard if you not talk to someone.
About
Reflecting like
Yeah.
this.
You can even, Brody and I, talk all the time, too.
Yeah, like you can talk to
So
your
even
partner,
somebody you know
can
really
talk to
well.
your friend,
Yeah.
someone that you know is going to reciprocate this
yeah,
conversation.
exactly.
I'm telling you 100%, the times that I have reflected something about myself the most is when I speak to Brody, when I speak to Hope.
Right.
Oh my God.
Because there's no judgment there.
There's no judgment there whatsoever.
Free flowing.
I find that it's so hard for me to reflect on something about myself if I am talking to myself.
Yeah.
Or if I am journaling or something like that.
Because
Right.
you're your own worst critic.
Yeah.
Because it's all in your head.
Or
Yeah.
I am not
exactly.
aware of what how the layers are peeling.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Perception.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I have
I
my
feel
own
that.
perception of myself.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
This self-reflective things help you in all of your life, in my opinion.
I think so,
And if
too.
you just keep talking about it to
Yeah.
people, you're gonna be happy with where you're at. in
Takes
your
you
life.
places.
Yeah. Start a podcast.
An adventure. I love
Yeah.
it, guys.
Yeah.
The adventure.
Is real.
Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah.
Thank you
thanks,
guys for
Dad.
having me.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Give me some.
What I want to know,
Yeah.
now that you have all this conversation,
Yeah.
how are you feeling? You talked about how you felt when you came in.
I honestly feel quite inspired.
Yeah.
You know, I feel inspired to continue to write and continue to go after my goals, and I feel comfortable with the idea of chasing them,
Yeah.
and comfortable with the idea of Tavish.
Yeah.
Comfortable with the
Yeah.
with going after it, and
Right.
it being a journey and there being ups and
There's
ups
so
and downs.
journey.
Yeah.
There's a journey behind everything, man.
Exactly. I like how you said going after your goals and not going after your dreams.
Yeah.
Because dreams sound like they're not achievable. Goals sound like you have a plan, you're set up, you're going to go achieve them.
And
Yeah.
There's a strong sense of achievement connected to goal
Yeah.
instead of dream.
And there is some planning behind it.
There is.
You're planning to go do your masters.
Yeah.
Those are just little steps.
Yeah, there's planning behind it, and then I feel once and you're in the moment, or once it's there, you have to be open to what the possibilities are,
Right.
what the outcomes
Yeah,
are.
yeah. Then there's so
Yeah.
many different outcomes and possibilities.
And it sounds simple, but it's fucking hard.
Yeah,
It's so
it's
hard.
Yeah.
fucking so hard.
It's so hard.
It's easy for us to
Yeah.
say while we're sitting on this
we
couch. Yeah,
practice. It's easy. But we practice it. That's why we practice it.
That's why we
True.
had long form conversations where it took us an hour and a half to get
yeah,
to this reflective moment,
yeah,
If it's 20 minutes, you won't be able to do it.
yeah. It's true.
Right. Because
So-
you're just kind of talking for 20, half an hour. You're
Has
just
it been
skimming.
an hour and a half?
Yeah, man.
Just skimming the surface.
Jeez.
And that's why we like our episodes this long, is because we find that sometimes it takes a while to get to where we want to go,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It takes a while. Trust divine time, man.
Good things take time too. Yeah,
Yeah.
divine time. I like that.
So now my next question is, if you had a billboard everywhere in the world, what would you like to say?
Yeah.
And it could include things you learned from this conversation.
Oh, okay.
Can I say mine first? 'Cause
Yeah,
know
I want to hear it.
Fuck it.
Nice.
Yeah. Fuck it.
So, that's a good question. Everywhere in the world.
Fuck it, man.
Well, that's yours. Let's see what that is. That's a good one.
It is a good one, though, right?
That is a good one. It's catchy.
Fuck it.
Mine might be something along the lines of, because I feel like as we talked about this, it opened up a little bit more. Mine would be something along the lines of, I got nothing. So I want to say something about honesty.
Yeah, you can.
And I wanted to say, if it's not true, then it's not meaningful. But I feel like if it's something I want to broadcast to the world on a billboard, it might just be the simple one of like, be honest and true to yourself.
Yeah.
It's simple, but it's been said before. But if I'm feeling a little bit sappy, it might be the thing that I would want to throw on the billboard as a reminder to myself too. Like, be honest every day, work hard, and be true to who you are.
Yeah.
100%. And fuck it.
And fuck it, true. Sometimes you got to.
100%. Okay, now.
Yeah.
What excites you?
Yeah.
What excites me is stories. As I talk about stories, are stories to me I find to be
100%.
adventures, and I like coming on here and being able, you guys bringing me on here and asking me about what I do, or like what I like to do and what excites me, and it being stories, because I feel like that's sort of what you guys like to do as well, is find out people's stories.
I love your story, man.
Yeah.
What you've been through. And,
Thank you. Yeah.
And I'm excited to see where you're going, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll have you back for sure. 100%.
Heck yes.
100%, man. And we'll fly to Toronto someday.
You guys will, yeah.
In divine time.
In divine time.
When I mean divine time, I mean money.
That's a big factor.
Yeah, true.
That's a big factor in life too.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard
you
to
can't
talk
ignore
about
it.
money.
Yeah.
Because money is everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Money controls everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Money,
makes the
it's
world
like
go
money.
If you think long enough,
Yeah.
there is always a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always a way.
True.
You just gotta trust time until you figure it out how to do it.
Yeah. That's true.
You need money to breathe,
Exactly.
Money is
Fuck.
air.
But anyways, Brody, you got anything to add?
No, I want to finish it up with.
Yep.
We like to do it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Is, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. What I liked about talking to you guys today is that you guys were open to talking about your stories, and you both had your stories.
Yeah.
But I guess I want to know what you guys think about stories and storytelling as
Stories.
in general.
Stories.
I know we talked about it a bit, but like, and it's a bit of a general question, but like,
What do I feel, or what do I think about stories and storytelling?
like, I guess
Okay,
I don't really have a real question.
Okay,
You know
well,
what?
I think I have an answer
Yeah,
to
yeah.
that.
Okay,
So I think I can come from a few different angles. What I think about storytelling, I think whoever is telling the story needs to believe in the story. They need to contain that truth that you were talking about as a writer. The storyteller needs to hold that same, can we call it emotion, or same
Right.
state of belief
Yeah.
in their delivery of storytelling.
Have you heard the quote? I forget who it's by, but I should know. But the quote is, "If there's no tears in the writer, then there's no tears in the reader."
That's
Right.
beautiful.
So it sounds sort of like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
if you're not feeling that, putting it
Yeah.
into the thing.
Then why is someone else gonna feel different?
Yeah.
Why is someone gonna be moved if you're not
Totally.
moved in your story? That's what I think about story writing, and why I say that is because that's what I've learned through you, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Is that when you're talking about when you're writing, you need to portray truth in your writing,
Yeah.
or it's not going to connect. No one can relate.
Stories are therapy almost. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't discover something as you're creating it,
Yeah.
discover something completely new that you didn't know going in, then the reader's not going to discover that either.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that snowballs into what I think of stories.
Yeah.
What I think of stories is, and the stories that I like, I love stories,
Yeah.
first of all.
Yeah.
And I want to write
clear.
my own story.
Like fiction or like a autobiography.
I want to write my own story with regards to what I believe in.
Right.
But let's take it back.
Yeah.
What I believe in stories is that, and what I wish every story out there in the form of movies, newspaper, magazines, short films, books, I want stories to teach me something that I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
Something that I can use for the rest of my life. If a story doesn't teach me something that I can use for the rest of my life, or that is going to make me a better person, then I am not interested in actually immersing myself into the story. And some stories, they take a twist.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're not learning something, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom!
Yeah.
You have like a
Knowledge bomb.
knowledge bomb, right?
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah.
When
When you don't think you're gonna learn anything
When
from
I
this,
don't
and then
think-
all of a sudden you're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
You learned something.
I
so
learned
po-
something.
Like your Hawaii story.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, and trying to be able to keep that open-mindedness throughout the story, even if you halfway through you haven't learned anything, to be able to maintain that
Yeah. And when
mindset.
if I am reading or watching a story and it doesn't teach me anything by the end, I feel like it's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
That's where I feel
So you look for value when
I like for value in
stories,
something that I can use for the rest of my life.
in regards
Something
to story.
really meaningful
Yes.
that's going, and it all comes down to what the writer's beliefs are.
Yeah.
You know, like the beliefs of the writer implemented in a story. One of their goals, if I was a writer, and one of my goals would be to show to people something,
Yeah.
for people to learn something
Totally.
Right.
deep. It has to be deep, and
And it has to be, I feel like, if that's a good goal to have, but like, it's not, you might not necessarily even know what that thing is. You're going to,
exactly.
people are going to learn going in, and it's something
Yeah.
you discover along the way.
100%.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It has to be.
That's what I think of stories.
Awesome.
And I do want to write my own story
Yeah.
eventually. Yeah.
Like a
Something to teach. No, something like about teaching people something that can
Right.
change the world.
Yeah.
Then this podcast came from that same idea and mindset. Is we want to teach people, we want to change
Yeah.
people's
Want to
views.
inspire
Or
change.
we want
It's
to,
noble.
we want to inspire change. We want people to feel inspired, and what like you feel
Yeah.
inspired to go do
I love
whatever
it, guys.
that like you like to do. That's what we want. We want to. It doesn't need to be under the same niche. That's why it's adventuring for knowledge.
Yeah.
All those people that have these mass
Different
amounts of
ideas.
like knowledge.
Yeah.
There's that one common thing of
Learning.
learning and feeling inspired and passionate about what you're learning.
Yeah. So if someone is interested about film, what do you recommend they do?
Somebody's interested in becoming a filmmaker, learning about film.
Filmmaker, film writer.
That's a good question. I recommend that you put in the time. You know, you got to make a routine about learning your craft, and you got to put in the hard work if you want to be serious about
Make
it.
those
And
movies.
that's also hard.
Yeah.
It's also hard to do.
Yeah.
But I guess my other word of advice would be similar to what I put on the billboard. Is like, stay as honest as you possibly can,
Yeah.
and find your own truth. Find your own truth. Don't find someone. You know what? That's what I want to put on the billboard.
Yeah.
Find your own.
Find your own truth.
Yes.
There we go.
And stay as honest as you can.
Nice.
Don't try and make something for someone else to impress some idea of something or to because you think someone else will like it. Find your own truth, no matter how dark, no matter what darkness or what pain or what dirtiness or what silliness or craziness it contains. Find your truth.
There you go. That's beautiful.
And I think that's
Thanks, you guys.
And that was
That'll be
perfect
the
time.
That was it. Hey?
Oh, then what? The phrasing of the billboard didn't come
Yeah.
until the end.
Dude, it's divine time.
It's divine
Wow.
time.
Boom.
Thank you guys so much for having me again.
Well, thank you. Where can we
Great
find
chat.
you?
You can find me and my brother Charlie. We both have Instagram.
We'll link it in the show notes.
We'll link it in the show notes. Our film Hot Water Frog Prints has an Instagram page, which we'll link in the show notes. And from that, you can sort of see what that film's up to and where to watch it and all that good stuff.
Perfect.
Nice.
Thank you guys so much.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
A lot of fun.
And if you like this podcast, you can follow us at adventuringforknowledge.com. You can find us in all podcasting apps, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcast. We also have a YouTube channel when we put our recordings and hopefully some beautiful films.
Love it.
A
Yeah.
Facebook page.
A Facebook page.
And an Instagram page.
Instagram, and we also have LinkedIn. Yeah. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, and get out there, like Tavish said, be truth to yourself, adventure for knowledge.
Yeah. And never stop adventuring for knowledge.
Alrighty. See you
Take
later.
care.
That's perfect.
And please remember to be active in your community. Brody, come on. Keep going. Keep going.
Remember to smile.
Remember to be kind and respect yourself, others, animals, and a beautiful planet.
And please, never stop adventuring for knowledge.
Until next time.
Peace.